What is up, guys? This is Trypal. Welcome back to the channel. Now guys, I gotta say right now, I did not expect to make this video at all. I really did not. I hated Season 5 so much when it came out. There's no way in the world I was gonna make a video like this. But they've done it. Epic Games have done it. They have saved Fortnite. If you ask me, I cannot believe I'm saying this. If you ask me, I think that the state of Fortnite right now, the gameplay mechanics are in the best state it's ever been in. That's such a bold statement to make, and I can't believe I'm saying that, but I think it's true. Now let me just get across real quick, you do not need to agree with my opinion to not dislike the video. Okay, so you can respect my opinion as I respect yours. This is a discussion video. You can freely say what you want in the comment section. I'm not going to ban your comments, nothing like that. So, right now, we are in week 5 of Season 5. Let me just make sure that that is very clear. We're not at the beginning of Season 5 when the game was entirely broken and probably, in my opinion, in the worst state it was possibly in the gameplay mechanics. It was in the worst state possible. The double barrel shotgun has come in and it has changed the field a lot. Okay, 150 in the body. When I first saw that, I was like, I don't know about that. Now let me just say, I was a fan of one pumping back in the day. I think, in my opinion, it was very skillful to get a headshot, get all your bullets to hit their head to get a 230. I think that was very skillful. And now my opinion has changed on that a little bit. I don't think that I would like a one pump anymore. The only times that I think I do want a one pump is whenever I'm getting sprayed by a chain gun, point blank, but that's a whole nother story. But that aside, I don't think that a one pump is necessary. But the main point here is that it took skill to get a one pump, right? For the most part. Sometimes you could get lucky, but most of the time, it was very skillful to get a headshot for 230. Now, you're telling me I can grab this gun and do 150 in the body? Bruh, like, come on now. When I first heard that, I was very worried. I was like, okay, here's another weapon for a noob to grab in their hands and then unskillfully kill me very fast. The thing is, after playing the game extensively, like I said I would, I told you guys, I'm going to play it extensively before I make any judgments. My mind has changed completely. The shotgun shoots so fast that noobs actually just spray it, and they run out of ammo very fast, and then they don't have a shotgun, so they switch their SMG and spray. Well, if I got my own shotgun, I can easily counter that with some building and some smart pop shots. Now, I'm not saying that you're never going to get killed by a noob with this weapon, and I certainly have, but I think only like 3 or 4 times in my roughly 100 games of playing in week 5. I mean, it's that drastic of a drop-off. You're not going to see a lot of people killing you with this weapon. You're just not. If you're a smart player, then you can build around this and counter it for high ground and just make smart decisions. So with that established, now let's look at what it actually does to the meta. So the meta was SMG spraying, the spray and pray meta that everyone hated when Season 5 initially released. So I'm with everybody. I think the spray and pray meta is garbage. It just has a lot of no skill involved with it. You had noobs beating pro players very easily. And it just a lot of fights that you were losing that you just shouldn't. The worst part about this meta is that you had people that were able to stand completely still in the wide open, noobs, stand completely still in the wide open and spray you with an SMG, and you had absolutely no counter to what they were doing. Yes, you could hit them with a pump 3 or 4 times to kill them by using good positioning and all that, but what happens when you're in the wide open and they spread through your walls? It's a bad situation. Now, the introduction of this double barrel shotgun changes all of that. No longer are SMG sprayers confident enough to get in your 1x1, especially if they hear that you have that shotgun. So, if they don't hear that you have that shotgun, then they still know that this shotgun exists in the game, and a lot of people are not going to be pushing into your 1x1 as aggressively as they was at the start of Season 5. So I'm very glad to see that that's not happening, and I've noticed this in week 5. I'm like, why are people not spraying down my structures as much as they were in the beginning? Well, it's because they know that I can basically one pump them or two pump them with this new double barrel shotgun. And it feels really good to know that. Finally, I can actually kill people that are just standing in the wide open, standing completely still, spraying at me. There should be a counter to that. So like I said, this changed the meta completely. You now have a weapon that can counter the SMG. Now the other thing that I want to mention is double pump, because I know it's going to come up in the comment section. I was a supporter of double pump back in the old days, the glory days, whatever. I think it was very fun, and I think it was very skillful to consistently get headshots very fast on people using double pump. It was a lot of fun, like I said. Now, the issue with this that I didn't really see back then is that it didn't really leave room for other weapons in the meta. You weren't allowed to use an SMG if you really wanted to compete with double pump. You wanted to be a viable opponent in a counter to double pump, you could not use an SMG. You couldn't even use an AR. You had to use double pump, even if you were at AR range or SMG range. So I think that now there's a time and place for pretty much every weapon. For the most part, there's some exclusions, such as the dual wield pistols, that I think are not very viable at all. But there's a lot of things that are viable now. And I think that the main reason I'm able to see this now is because we got a dose of our own poison, basically, in the beginning of the Season 5 meta, the spray and pray meta. Nobody wanted to do it. We were stubborn and wanted to use other things, but we couldn't because the SMGs were just that powerful. That's the exact same concept that people were saying with the double pump. They want to use other weapons, but double pump is just so powerful that it didn't allow them to. And yes, like I said, I think it used a lot of skill to use double pump, that's my opinion, but a lot of people didn't share that opinion, and so that's why Epic Games ultimately changed it. Now, in my opinion, you have a combination of shotguns and SMGs, and I think that different weapons should be viable in different situations, and I really do think that the SMG is at a very good place in the game. Especially with the recent nerf of 50 bullets to 40 bullets in the magazine of the combat SMG. I think that's a really smart decision by Epic Games, and I'm really glad they did that. That combined with the damage fall off to other SMGs, a lot of good decisions honestly by nerfing SMGs, and I think that they are now in a state of the game where they are viable after basically as a follow-up to a shotgun or before the shotgun. And I think that that's just really good. The only thing, let me just get this out here right now. The only real thing that they need to do still is take away the stupid delay on the pump whenever you take it out. Like, why is that still here, honestly? Back on track. SMGs are now in a state of the game where they are not too OP, but they are still a viable weapon, whereas before in Season 3 and even early Season 4, they had no ability to be used at all. They had no room in the meta at all. Now, the fact that SMGs received a slight nerf, combined with the structure health, the base health of structures being buffed again, this just creates the most balanced gameplay mechanics that I've seen in Fortnite in a long time. And then lastly, the double barrel shotgun is just a further counter to that. They don't need to touch the double barrel shotgun at all. Yes, I understand that a 150 in the body is very controversial, and I think it's actually 150 if you get the crit. But even like 140, whatever it is, it's up there in numbers. But the thing is, you only get 2 shots and then you have a massive reload time. And those 2 shots are going to be what saves you in that 1v4 situation when you're solo squatting and you have 4 guys charging you. You shoot that thing, you down 1 guy, and they're going to back off. They're not really going to push into your 1x1 any further, or they might if they're smart. But the thing is, you now have a counter, and you can build around this stuff, but you now have a counter to 1v4 encounters, and I'm really happy to see that. Now, I guess my final selling point is my win ratio in Season 5, Week 5, compared to the rest of Season 5. I was losing a bunch in Season 5 because I just simply could not get past the spray and pray meta. And I might have mentioned this before, you can say you need good positioning all you want, and that is true to a degree. However, whenever you're in the wide open field, and there's nothing besides your building that is super weak, you're probably not going to live through that. Now, in Week 5 of Season 5, I have an answer to those poorly positioned battles where you're in the wide open field. I now have a gun that I can easily one-shot or two-shot people if they get too close. Now this is very skillful in my opinion, because let's take a look at RPGs and grenade launchers and all these basically one-hit kill weapons. They take negative skill to use. If I have a gun that's only 2 bullets in the magazine that does massive damage up close, that's not overpowered. If you're saying that the double barrel shotgun is OP, then you need to also be saying that explosives are OP, and I think that you probably will, honestly, but that's counterintuitive if you're not. But my main point here is that you basically have to be able to shake their hand. That's the distance you have to be at for this gun to do as much damage as people are freaking out about, as far as getting 150 or 140. So, compared to a rocket launcher, which you can just spray it and easily kill people, I don't think the double barrel shotgun's OP, I really don't. I think it's obvious to see that it does have a huge skill gap to it, because you see noobs spraying it at distances and basically being impatient with the weapon because they don't have that skill gap acquired yet. They don't know how to fully use the weapon yet. So there is a skill gap with this weapon. I don't think it's OP. But what do you think? You know, do you think a 140 damage in the body should be allowed? Do you think that that takes skill? Do you think that it doesn't take skill? There's a lot of variables that go into it, and so I'm actually really interested to see what you guys have to say in the comments below. I'll definitely be reading your comments and responding to those that I can. I also respond on Twitter. My Twitter is @Trypal_YT. If you want to do that, that's definitely an option. And with that said, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.